In today's lecture, we will see statistical learning approaches. So, what is that we are going to see? So, imagine that you need to design a spam filtering algorithm starting from this initial classification based on two parameters. What we have to design? The spam filtering algorithm based on these two parameters. Okay, for classification. Okay, now for initial classification we have considered the two parameters as P1 contains greater than 5 blacklisted words and P2 contains message length less than 20 character. Now for spam filtering we are considering two cases, that is spam emails and regular emails. So from spam emails, how many 5 listed words, that is 80, and from regular mails that is 20. So this is for example, it has been considered. Now spam filtering algorithm means what? We have to find out which mail or message contains the spam or non-spam, right? Spam means what? In our, if you consider our email, so in email spam is there, one tab is there, that is spam. So whatever the emails that is not related to any, or the spam means the emails related to the advertising goes to the spam, right? So likewise we have to identify that spam and non-spam. So spam sometimes it comes in regular emails also, so that's why here example is given, two conditions given for that spam, that is blacklisted words and message length less than 20 character. Okay, so this is given over here. So we have collected 200 email messages which we consider as X. For simplicity we consider P1 and P2 mutually exclusive, and we need to find a couple of probabilistic hypotheses to determine spam emails. Okay, expressed in terms of P1 and P2 to determine. Clear? सो हमें क्या करना है? प्रोबेबिलिस्टिक हाइपोथेसिस निकालनी है टू फाइंड आउट द स्पैम ईमेल्स. सो हाउ वी कैन फाइंड आउट दैट प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ स्पैम ईमेल्स गेट फ्रॉम hypothesis of P1 and from hypothesis of P2. So for example, we could think about the rules or the hypothesis like, if there are more than 5 likelihood words or 5 blacklisted words, or if the message is less than 20 characters in length, then the probability of spam is high. Whatever the condition given over here for spam, that is only taken over here. So if that comes, then the probability of getting spam is high. Okay, however, without assigning probabilities, it's difficult to generalize when the data set changes. In the real world, that is anti-spam filter. We also want to determine the partitioning threshold, such as green, yellow, blue, to help the user in deciding to keep and what to trash. So we want to apply one partitioning filter or the threshold such as green, yellow and red signals, so that users will get the help which emails we have to keep and which we have to trash. So as the hypotheses are determined through the dataset X, we can also write in discrete form, that is P of getting spam emails from the whole data set, that is X. So spam divided by X is equals to summation of I P of spam H of I hypothesis of I multiplied by P of HPI, that is hypothesis divided by that whole data set. Okay, now in this example it's quite easy to determine the value of each term. However, in general, it's necessary to introduce the Bayes formula. So this is nothing but the Bayes formula, that is probability of getting the hypothesis from the whole data set is equals to data set divided by hypothesis multiplied by hypothesis. In the previous equation, the first term is called the posterior probability, because this term, that is p of x divided by hi. What is the meaning of posterior? That is, we are taking the hypothesis whenever the data is already collected. So that's why this is the posterior hypothesis, that we are having the data set and we are defining the hypothesis, because it's determined by the marginal a priori probability multiplied by the factor which is called likelihood. So here we can say what is the likelihood, what is the prior, what is the posterior, and what is the margin. And this is the conditional probability formula given over here. So probability of hypothesis divided by data is equals to probability of data divided by hypothesis multiplied by hypothesis divided by data. So what is the likelihood? So probability of collecting this data when our hypothesis is true. Likelihood means what? Whenever our hypothesis is true, then probability of collecting this data. Now what is prior? The probability of the hypothesis being true before collecting the data. And what is the posterior? That is probability of our hypothesis being true given the data is already collected. And what is marginal? What is the probability of collecting this data under all possible hypotheses? That is the marginal. Now next is the MAP learning, that is maximum, a prior, a posterior. That is, when selecting the right hypothesis, a Bayesian approach is normally one of the best choice. So here for Bayesian, what is the Bayesian formula and how it works, and the example based on that, that is given over here in this line. What is the Bayesian theorem or Bayesian formula? Probability of happening the event when the one of the event is already given. So for example, a real coin is a very short cylinder. So in tossing a coin, we would also consider the probability of even. Means when we toss the coin, the probability that how many probabilities are there? Head and tail. It may get head or it may get tail. So that even possibilities we are considering. So let's say its possibility of getting it we are considering as 0.001%. It means that we have three possible outcomes, that is probability of getting head, tail, or 1.0 divided by this probability divided by 2.0. The latter event is obviously unlikely, but in Bayesian learning it must be considered. Okay, an alternative is picking the most probable hypothesis in terms of posterior probability. So this is the picking of probable hypothesis in terms of posterior probability, that is P of H map divided by X is equals to maximum of that particular probability. Clear? Now next, what is maximum likelihood learning? So we have defined the likelihood as the filtering, we have defined the likelihood as a filtering term in the Bayes formula. In general, it has the form L of, that is likelihood of happening the event, that is hypothesis divided by the data set is equals to probability of data set divided by hypothesis. Here the first term expresses the actual likelihood of the hypothesis, and given the data set X, as you can imagine, in this formula there are no more a priori probabilities. So maximizing it does not apply accepting a theoretical preference hypothesis nor considering unlikely ones. A very common approach known as expectation maximization and used in many algorithms. What is happening over here? Maximum actual likelihood hypothesis here consider against the data set given, that is X. Now here, while considering this, No more a priori probabilities were considered over here in this formula. So theoretical acceptance over here consider, not the practical one, right? So that we can consider it as the expectation maximization. Means we are not considering the consideration also, and we are not considering the unlikely also. Means this would happen, definitely this would happen, we are not considering that also, and this can happen, that also we are not considering, right? So that's why it is considered as a expectation maximization. Means we can consider, right? We can expect ki this should be the probability happen over here. So, a log likelihood, normally called the L, is a useful trick that can simplify gradient calculation. A generic likelihood expression is given over here. As all parameters are inside that Hi, the gradient is a complex expression which is not very manageable. However, our goal is maximizing the likelihood, but it's not easier maximizing its reciprocal. Clear? So what is our goal? That is maximizing the likelihood, but it's easier to minimize its reciprocal, right? So maximizing this likelihood of getting particular event given in the data set is equals to minimizing that likelihood, right? So this is all about for today's lecture.